Hi everyone, Big Mac here. Welcome back to Let's Play Yoshi's Story for the Nintendo 64. Today we're going into stage 6-4, the Magma Castle. So in fact, if you've been following along my regular playthrough of this game, this is the very last level of the very last level. Or, very last level of the very last page that I have yet to do in this particular run-through of Yoshi's Story. However, if this happens to be the first one that you picked on, or the second or the third, let me go through a couple of basic mechanics about what's going on in every page 6. So, once you reach page 6, that is the last page of your game, so regardless of which stage you pick, 6-1, 6-2, 6-3, or 6-4. So, of course, you're at the last stage, you don't have to find the super happy hearts anymore. However, just because I've been doing it for every other single level, I continue to do, find all the super happy hearts for even the ones in stage 6. So, of course, we're also might as well go for a full melon run. So I'm going to try my best and do that in this stage as well. So, regardless of which stage you pick for, whichever page you pick for stage 6, the format follows the same notion. You go through the stage, you collect 30 fruits, maybe melons, maybe favorite fruits, up to you. After that point, you encounter the same fight with Baby Bowser, regardless of which stage you picked. So after that, you finish that fight with Baby Bowser, then you are done with the game. So of course, after that point, you can go ahead and choose again. Feel free to start the adventure over from a different page, or maybe play the same ones over and over again. So let's go ahead and get started with what's going on here in page 6. So this is actually one of the very dangerous stages in the game. There are plenty of pitfalls and traps for Yoshi to fall victim to. So we had that whole ride with the dragon earlier. Now we have to watch out for spouting lava falls, which are like waterfalls, but they're made with lava. And I bet you Yoshi does not want to touch that, let that be anything involved with those things. So, of course, if Yoshi falls down here, or Yoshi gets hurt, he gets captured again. There's a weird, I don't know, it's kind of silly that there's the animation of him being captured and taken to Bowser's Castle, especially since he's already in Bowser's Castle, but that's, that's not really important right now. So, we might have seen, these onion guys, I'm really not sure what they are. You might have seen them back in stage 2-1, possibly? They just jump around and try and hurt you. Nothing too much to worry about for them at this point. Of course, right now we're trying to collect our fruits still. Ooh! It almost looked like that formation of coins formed a little smiley face before they all fell down to the ground. That's kind of cool. So we are going to have to be mindful of the different ways that we can jump around in here. And especially if we have close corridors like this. Yeah, you saw those 5 coins. If you let those 5 coins start flying everywhere, you're going to have a very hard time getting them all before they all disappear. And even if you do get them all, then you might have a hard time trying to capture the melon that appears after you do that. So again, there's plenty of hazards for this place to go. You want to try and check, can you go down this particular chasm? Sometimes there are regions where it looks like you might want to go down, but then you can't. Especially in this stage, so you have to be really careful. So if you see there, it looks like there might have been a sign, or a hint of a sign down there. So in fact, this one we can go down. The tulip mechanic you might have seen before, basically that will allow Yoshi to jump his way back up to where we had just fallen from. But until then, let's go ahead and check out the giant slugs? I forget what their name is. Anyway, you guys might have seen these guys back in stage 2-, also in 2-1? I can't remember, somewhere back in page 2. Anyway, the way to defeat these guys is you want to hit them, but only with the explosion of the egg. So you don't want to actually hit them with the egg itself. You just want to hit them with the explosion that the egg creates. So I find the easiest way to do this is to, shoot the egg just a little bit in front of where they're going, and that way they'll kind of walk into the explosion. What is our reward for defeating these 2 giant, weird-looking slug creatures? Well, in fact, it's a key. So, where did we see a key? Remember, back at the very beginning, before I even started talking about this stage, Yoshi walked by a door that had a keyhole. So indeed, we're going to want to try and make our way back there. Of course, that might take us a little while still. But let's go ahead and use the tool lift to try and project ourselves back up. Nicely done, Yoshi. You can also try and diagonally bounce off the wall, if that's easier for you too. You can get out of the cannonball that Yoshi's in, but just pressing the B button? I'm not sure. One of the buttons will just cancel him out of wherever he's at, and then just return him to regular Yoshi mode. So notice that again, there are plenty of fruit over here for the Yoshis to be eating as you go through, but if you want to try and do a special run, like all melons or something else, then of course you might be a little harder to. And with that special coin formation, you have to just do what the coins told you. It said there was something up there, so you threw the egg up there. Now notice that there are coins and the onion guys on top, and a pipe and a warp vase. You can go up that way if you want. In fact, I'm gonna take another way to get to that exact same point. And in getting to there, we're actually gonna get a few more melons and a couple extras. So we have this room where we have these giant bouncy balls, or I forget what they're called. But as long as you stay away from them, Yoshi will be fine. Of course, in closer corridors, they make a lot more noise as they keep bouncing around. The chili pepper that the Shy Guy had there was just to deter Yoshi, but Yoshi knows that chili peppers are bad for him. Of course, now we're getting into a room that has a lot of question mark boxes. So, in fact, there are a total of 7 question mark boxes in just this one room. So, of course, a question arises: how, normally we try and push 2 of these together for melons to pop out of them. What are we supposed to do with 7? In fact, we'll see in just a little bit that we can actually kind of narrow down our number of boxes altogether. But in collecting our happy heart for this level, or for Yoshi getting super happy, we found the last letter in our message, which is an R in this particular level. So that'll help. That is the very last letter that we have uncovered for our special message. So we'll have to try and examine and figure out what that total message was. So like I mentioned, there were 7 question mark boxes, and in fact that one in the middle, you could actually just ground pound that one by itself in order for a melon to appear. The rest of them you have to push together for melons. If you were to push that middle one with one of the other ones, obviously melons would still pop out, but then you would have one by itself that would have needed another box to open up. So, you'll be short 1 melon in that case. Otherwise here, it's just being very patient, trying to avoid these bouncing ball creatures. And after that, it's pretty smooth sailing. We already found our super happy letter. Make sure you don't ground pound anything by accident. That happened to be in a practice round, or in a practice run of this stage. So don't try and stomp on things prematurely. And in just going through this particular room, we've already found, what, 10 melons? So far, that's pretty impressive. Oh, Yoshi, don't get hit. Anyway, so of course we still have the key trailing behind us. So in fact, there's a couple of things in this way. We have to crawl underneath the spiky pit, or the spiky parts, by just walking very, very slowly. And you can do that at a regular pace. So what's in this box all by itself? Miss Warp number 3, actually. So let's go ahead and actually utilize our warp, because remember, back by that locked door was Miss Warp number 1. So let's go ahead and actually open the door, see what's inside, and then we can figure out what to do from there. Ooh, you might have seen these creatures before. I don't forget what their actual name is, but Poochie seems to indicate that there's something over in this direction. So if you can actually defeat all 4 of these creatures, you can just throw eggs at them to defeat them. The other Super Happy Heart appears. So in fact, we now have all 3 Super Happy Hearts for Stage 6-4. Of course, it's still a question of whether or not we can collect all the melons. Well, that will remain to be seen in the next few moments. But let's go ahead and take our Miss Warps back to where we were. So remember, we had just finished finding Miss Warp number 3, where we had to duck underneath in order to find her. We have these annoying ball creatures to worry about. Just take your time, try walking slowly. If you go too fast, you might get hurt, but then you can just try and run past the thing too. So, whichever way works better for you. Now, of course, I mentioned earlier that there was another vase pipe, or a vase warp that we could have taken earlier. In fact, that vase would have warped you to this room right here where we were coming out of. We would have appeared back up on top where those coins were. But we don't need those coins. We already got all the other melons that were all along the way. So, and there aren't any melons up on that path either, so we're perfectly fine with the path that we took. If you're not concerned about melons, then you can use that vase path just to get to this part of the stage a little bit faster. So in fact, this is a very precarious part of the stage because there's a lot of things going on here. Of course, we're almost done with our melons as well, which is exciting. But we have a number of enemies and just things trying to attack us that we have to be careful for. And plus, there's all these random pits everywhere, and we have falling lava, and we have spiky saws, and we have just a number of things that are not really looking out for Yoshi's best interest. We have, oh my gosh, we have pendulum spike balls as well. Fortunately for these ones, you can actually jump over the pendulum. In other stages where you have a similar type thing, you cannot jump over the pendulum. You have to go under it in time. But in this case, you can go jump through the chain. It looks like there's nothing over here, but if the Yoshi takes his time, I didn't mean for Yoshi to take this much time, but if Yoshi very carefully investigates what's over on the other side, he'll discover that there's actually nothing in the corner. But a melon has now appeared on the other side. So in fact, let's try and grab that melon really carefully and then hurry our way back down to that other pit that we saw earlier. Alright, great job, Yoshi. So in fact, this is one of the more difficult parts of this stage. We actually have two Shy Guys who are controlling these furnace torch things, and Yoshi is actually stuck in between these two things now. So Yoshi's going to have to very carefully navigate. He can't get around these things anymore, but he does have a couple, and if he touches the fires, obviously he's going to get hurt. But he can just kind of stay in between the two and not get burned by any means. Fortunately, as you guys saw, there were some refill flowers to help refill his health, and we do want to try and grab the melons that are along the way. Again, not an easy task, especially when we start introducing things like the chainsaws, or just the spiky saws, where, you know, speed is also going to have to become a factor in this thing. So we have to be very careful. Alright, we got past the first one, that's good. Wait, there's a melon on top, Yoshi, don't forget the melon! It was right above you. You couldn't see it because it was camouflaged behind the actual picture of the melon. Silly Yoshi. Of course, now I think at this time Yoshi realizes his mistake and is trying to go back to get it, but unfortunately now he's stuck, now he's trapped in between those two pillars. And Yoshi, if you get hurt anymore, you're gonna get captured. No! Yoshi got captured. So here's a weird thing. If you get a Yoshi captured and then you come back, the Shy Guys are gone. I don't know where they went, or if this is a glitch or not. I think this is just part of the regular game. If you advance far enough with the Shy Guys, then they just stay gone. So this makes it really easy for us to actually grab this melon now. Only thing is we would lose a lot of time in trying to come back to this spot. So I did actually have to cut out a bit of time to get from Miss Orb number 3 back to this spot. But now we don't have to worry about the Shy Guys anymore. We have a Red Yoshi looking for the last couple melons. There's one. Oh, Yoshi ate the chili pepper. Not good, Yoshi. But in fact, here's Miss Orb number 4 in the very beginning of the stage again. So it looks like we missed a melon somewhere. Or did we? In fact, over here back by where the locked door was, we can quickly say hi to Miss Orb number 1 again. And we can unveil our final fruit, melon number 30. So of course, after we collect our 30 fruits, we now go on our fight with Bowser, which is the same in after every stage 6, of course. What does he say?
What have we here? Mario's little pet. I have pets too. Let's all play together. Play nice, you wimpy pet. I hate guests who throw bombs at my ceiling.
So indeed, welcome to the fight with Baby Bowser. There are a number of ways that you can attack him at this point. One is you can throw projectiles such as your eggs or the falling bombs up to the ceiling so that they knock down the spikes, and then those spikes smash Baby Bowser as he is coming down. The other possibility, like we saw with the Slugs, is we could actually use the explosion from the egg to defeat or to hit Baby Bowser, and in fact he just got hit by a bomb by itself. That works too.
Here's my poem! I'm the king, you dino guy! I'll smash you now, so say goodbye!
So in fact, you can follow very much the same strategy as before. You can use the explosion, you can use the bombs. If you get hurt, you can use the fruits and the super happy tree to help refill your health. But this time, Yoshi was able to vanquish Baby Bowser with relative ease.
Yow! This hurts! I hate you puny little Yoshis! I'll give you back your super stupid tree. Besides, its fruits taste rotten to me.
So indeed, instead of being carted to Bowser's castle, Bowser is being carted away from the castle. The Yoshis have rescued the Super Happy Tree, and everybody except Baby Bowser lives happily ever after. So congratulations, that is the last section of page 6. So of course we have our score. After every page, after you go through the story mode, and after page 6, you get a cumulative score, adding up all your scores from the previous pages. If your score is high enough, you can enter it into your high scoreboard. You can of course just use whatever name that you prefer. But that being said, let's go ahead and read the final page from the Yoshi storybook. Normally when you play through the story mode, it does every page 1 through 6 that you've encountered, but I'm just going to quickly skip to page 6's story since that's the one that we've seen in this video. The Yoshis found the castle and figured the Super Happy Tree was there. Instead, they found hot lava and a hot-tempered Baby Bowser. But happiness wins in the end, and the Yoshis paddled Baby Bowser. Now that the tree was safe and sound, the storybook was no longer bound. Yoshi's Island returned once more, and became again the happiest shore. And the Yoshis lived happily ever after. Thank you guys so much for this, watching this video of Yoshi's story. If you want to start through the whole process again, pick a different stage 1, feel free to do so in the links or in the annotations. Otherwise, go ahead and click to see the very end finale. Until then, this is Big Mac saying, later.